then
Well, here's
it'd be awesome.
here's another really cool thing about Metroid Dread that, like, I was talking about the lore before, but we actually have living Chozo in this game, and not only living Chozo, but Chozo wearing like armor similar to Samus, just because we know that her armor was made by the Chozo, but we've never seen a living Chozo, at least maybe, well, I guess we have in cutscenes or whatnot, but not like at the same time as our adventure, like we are here, and in a power suit nonetheless. Like, ooh, it looks so good. It looks so cool in his power. I mean, I'm just like, what role does the Chozo have in this game? I mean, there were some hints. If you haven't, okay, never mind. Yeah. We're not getting into spoilers in different games, but anyway, I'm excited.
I'm gonna say something about the like, not a spoiler in a different game. Not that I. Anyway, but I having known that Samus got her power suit from the Chozo, and then seeing the Chozo statues like in Super Metroid, I was always like how would they wear these? Like, what would a power suit for a Chozo even look like?
Right.
And it's just a failure in my imagination, I guess. But then, so seeing the Chozo in the power suit in this trailer, I was like, it looks awesome!
Oh, it looks so good. They thought it looked good on Samus, but no, it looks super cool on a Chozo.
Yeah. They did that so good. I agree with Lisa. Like, we hear about the Chozo, we hear how they created all this technology throughout the galaxy, and this power armor they gave her, and I was just like, did they not use it themselves? Like, this is the first time that the Chozo have looked cool to me, you know? Like, I think of Super Metroid, there's those Chozo statues and stuff, some of them even come alive, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And they always look slightly goofy to me.
Yes.
So
Lisa's like, I totally agree. No, they really did though.
But the same thing though. Like Kraid in Super Metroid, he's grotesque and scary, but he also looks kind of goofy, right?
Yes.
But you know, he's as the games have gone on, he looks awesome now. So
yes.
Anyway,
and the fight with Kraid in this game looks super epic, and I'm super excited. And I was not upset, for the record. I was not upset when Nintendo showed that. That's fine. But because Kraid's returning. If it was a newer boss, I guess I'd be kind of upset. I mean, they showed one new boss. They showed one new boss, or maybe two.
Okay, I have to say some funnies there.
Okay, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, I know there have been some people who were feeling a little frustrated with some of the things they considered spoilers that Nintendo's been showing in the recent trailers. But two things, first of all, that I want to say on that. One's kind of a facetious one. I feel like one of the things that were complained about was revealing Kraid as returning in the game. And I don't know, like, to me, like, when I heard that, I was like, that's about as surprising to me as learning that Ganondorf was the bad guy in the new Zelda game, or Sigma in the next game. Like, for me, like, okay, just as an illustration of that, and okay, Twilight Princess spoilers. This is kind of random place for it, but it makes sense in a second here. The part in Twilight Princess when they reveal that this villain, who to this point has been such a fantastic villain, Zant was going to be the best Zelda villain ever, until they ruined him. Until they ruined the crap out of him, and then like have this scene where it's supposed to they're telling you as if it's a shocking surprise, and they say his name was, and I was like, oh no, Ganondorf, and I was like, oh my gosh, you ruined it. Anyway, like I was the surprise was going to be having a game that wasn't Ganondorf. Anyway, my point is, Kraid is not a surprise. I'm sorry.
No.
That's just my take.
I love that. That's great.
Well, I agree with that, because, like, is it really that surprising to bring Kraid back to begin with? But also, when you think about the fact that, like, this is the first 2D Metroid in a long time, like, of course they're going to bring tie-ins from previous games that will make people be like, oh, I know that that bad guy. It's this new game. I want to play it. You know.
Well,
do
they
that a
have to
lot.
reward the returning fans, right? There's a lot of fans in it when they need to bring in new fans too. But for the returning fans, you got to have some fan service, and Kraid is a freaking awesome fan service.
Yeah.
That being said, though, are we gonna have?
Hold on.
Okay,
I
never
have
mind.
my other point. I was just before
sorry.
we go
Sorry.
away from it. And then,
Yes.
I know we probably are have time frames to think about, but I'll just say the other thing I actually like, and this kind of relates a little bit more to Nintendo's approach to marketing for Metroid Dread, which kind of ties into my earlier statements of how it seems like they're pulling out all the stops for this game. I actually really appreciate that they're willing to kind of show maybe some of those scenes that some people consider a little bit more spoilery, specifically because, what it tells to me is, look, Nintendo understands they really need to try and sell this series to more than just the core audience. Because yes, there are those of us who have loved Metroid forever and will love Metroid forever, but we're not enough to make this game a commercial success. Obviously, the sales history speaks for itself.
Yes.
But Nintendo needs to pull in new audiences, and so for me, I appreciate that they're willing to show some of these intense scenes because they're gripping. They're like, I watched some of these trailers that are a little spoilery, quote unquote, and and I thought, if I wasn't a Metroid fan, this would make me want to be, because this looks really cool. And I'm I'm sitting here being like, yeah, okay, maybe in some ways that would have been cool to see in game, but I'm glad that I didn't, because this means that they're hooking a new audience. And if the Amazon pre-orders are an indication, as well as how many people are suddenly talking about Metroid when they've confessed. I've seen so many people confess, look, I never got into Metroid for reasons I can't actually understand, but I want to now. Like, this is paying off. And so
Yes.
I say, Nintendo, thank you for spoiling this game for me.
That's awesome. And I have to plug in here, now that you've said that, I also have to plug in that oh crap, I forgot what I was going to say.
I want to agree with you, Anthony. Just with these trailers, like the first reveal, I was excited. I was like, "Oh, I already know I like 2D Metroid." Steve's ready.
Sorry,
Oh,
hold that
go ahead,
thought. I lost it again.
No.
Okay, I can keep going then, Steve.
Wait. Let's come back. Okay, so we were talking about having Metroid, and they were spoiling it, and it's fine because we don't care. Oh, the sales numbers. Another good point that we have to plug in here is Nintendo is actually releasing a Metroid game on a console when it's not at the end of its life cycle.
Oh, yes.
Not only are they, doing a really good job at getting new fans excited about the franchise for the first time in a long time, they're also releasing it at the perfect time, in the middle of the console's life cycle, when the hype is real, and they're showing good footage, good gameplay, and it's getting fans excited. That's what I was going to say. Sorry.
Yeah,
And it's on a system. Go ahead.
It's not competing with some other major release. This is their major release this year, in my opinion. They have some other games coming out close to the holidays, but like this is, that it's not getting buried under some other major title. They're giving it time to shine.
Yes.
And it's on a system that people own.
Yes. That too.
We can't not point out the Switch effect. Like, I know it's like this almost theoretical idea at this point, but it seems to actually be a thing that if a game releases on the Switch, it's going to, for some reason, just do a lot better than it might elsewhere. And so all of these things are combining, plus Nintendo's impeccable marketing for this game to make this the best chance Metroid has probably ever had.
Yep.
But anyway, David, you should finish your thought.
Yes,
earlier,
David,
so we
I
don't-
totally interrupted you, David. Sorry.
No, wait. Just that idea that kind of going along with their marketing for this game, right? Like at first, I knew I was excited, and I wanted other people to be excited. I didn't know if they would though. There was people commenting, right? Like, is this 2D game gonna be worth full price? Or comments like that.
Oh, don't even bring that up.
So I was disappointed that that's what people were thinking when it was first revealed. But Nintendo continued to market the game. They released their second trailer, and that was a trailer that was, you know, kind of started the spoiler commentary. Like, oh, are they spoiling stuff? But I saw that trailer. It had so many amazing cinematics. You know what Lisa mentioned, like her favorite scene where Samus is like standing there like charging her cannon. She's not even like worried about, you know, aiming yet. You know, those moments are like selling people on the game. That trailer, I was like, oh, I have to share this with people. This is undeniably awesome. You know, like even people that never played Metroid are gonna watch this and realize this game looks awesome. So as they continued to market, that's how I felt like market this game.
And by the way, I just love the way her suit looks in this game.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
I can't wait to find out why it looks the way it looks, but it looks phenomenal. I love the direction it's
the
going.
fusion suit, right?
Well, I guess the fusion suit though, in the actual game, looked really like kind of I would describe it as organic almost. Like it didn't have that metallic armor look. It kind of looked, I don't know.
Yeah, I think this is like more of it does seem more of an in-between between the organic and the mechanical, but I feel like when I saw it, it was like, oh, I feel like I still see some like nods to the fusion suit in this. But yeah. I might be. Anthony, you agree?
I do to some degree, but I also am glad that they've kind of stepped away from the more organic look as well, because I have to admit, I mean, Fusion is one of my favorite Metroid games. It's the one that got me into the series, and I just really love the storytelling approach to that game. I really like it. It's one of my most replayed games ever. But
the suit looked janky, right?
I have never liked the look of the Fusion suit. I thought that it looked really derpy compared to some of her other suits, and also they kind of made her look really hunchbacked in it. I don't know if you take a look at those sprites, she looks kind of funny. So I've never liked the suit. You know, the game is still fantastic, but I am actually really happy that they've done something new, because I would have been I confess it would probably not have affected my like actual opinion of the game, but I would have been disappointed if she was still in the fusion suit in Dread.
Yes,
throwing that out there.
I 100% agree, but I think they changed the suit in the kind of the best ways possible.
It's kind of an exciting look.
It has like the old classic look, but then it also threw in some new flares.
But like timeline-wise, this is coming after Fusion. Like in the in-game timeline, this is after Fusion. It seems like.
Yes, it is.
Right? Okay.
Yep. So let us just give our last final thoughts each about the game, and maybe also, do you guys think that this game is going to outsell the other titles? Because the highest, the highest selling game was the first game. It was just over 2 million.
Wait. Wasn't it Metroid Prime that was the highest selling?
We're not counting the Metroid Prime games, Ant. I'm just kidding. Anthony's right. Do you guys think that this one is going to go above 3 million?
Okay, so first of all, to answer your first question, my thoughts on this game. So I'm going to be honest, and this might sound a little blasphemous, but I honestly think this might be the first Metroid that has a chance to dethrone Super Metroid as the king of the franchise, in my mind. And that's kind of crazy to say, because Super Metroid is an absolute masterpiece. But just, sometimes I just look at a game and I see all the stuff they put into it even before it releases, and I'm like, no, this actually looks like it has a decent shot. And I think Dread is in that position. So I'm stoked. I have hope that it will end up being my favorite Metroid, and I have good reason to believe that will be the case. Also, to answer your second question, yes, I do think it's going to outsell, because at this point, the amount of hype, the amount of marketing it's been getting, the amount of pre-orders we've already seen, plus we have never seen this many non-fans turn up and say, you know what, I actually want to play this. I think this is the series' big moment. This is Metroid's renaissance. I really think that if it isn't, I guess we still have Metroid Prime 4 to kind of be a bit of a why can't I think of it, safety net for the series, but I don't think it's going to need it. I think Dread is going to pull it off. That's where I stand.
I think Anthony's right. All right, moving on. David, what do you think?
I agree. I think that this is a perfect storm for Metroid. And
In all the right ways.
Yes, in all the right ways, yeah. I think it will outsell previous games. Maybe it already has, just based on some of the pre-orders information we've seen and some of the hype we've already seen. Like it, like Anthony said, we have the Switch effect. We have it releasing, when it's relevant. Like, think of Samus Returns. I thought that was a great game, but it released on like a dead system, right? 3DS, the Switch was out already. The 3DS, people had moved on, and
they didn't even market it well.
Yeah, it was.
They announced it in the middle of a treehouse.
Yeah. They just it's the worst selling Metroid, I think, if you look at sales numbers.
Yeah. 500,000. Wow.
There's a lot of reasons for it, but you can't deny just they released it in such a way that people weren't going to go back to an old system just to play it. So the fact that they're doing it right this time, I would be shocked if it wasn't the best-selling Metroid so far, and I'm super excited to play the first 2D Metroid game in a long time. Oh, I also wanted to point out the other part of this perfect storm of awesomeness is that the genre in general is more popular than it's ever been. Right?
Yep.
Think of games like Hollow Knight,
Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
The genre is thriving. The indie games have kind of resurrected it and made it relevant.
Thank you, indie games.
Yeah. And I played those. I love Hollow Knight and the Ori games, and so people are curious about this now. They've heard this term Metroidvania. There's a surprising number of people that haven't even played Metroid, so they're curious just for that fact. They're like, oh, this is the game that kind of started this genre that I like, So they're curious about it. I've seen so many comments from people on any Metroid video that are saying that, like, I haven't played Metroid, but I think this will be my first one. So it's all looking great.
All right, Lisa, you want to finish us off? We got 3 minutes and 40 seconds.
Yeah. Cool. So I'll just keep it short. I feel like I would be shocked if it didn't sell well, especially with all I heard that Buy Metroid Dread is making the rounds on social media. So Buy Metroid Dread. No.
Yes. Plug in.
Always be plugging. So yeah, I feel like I would be shocked if it didn't sell well. And I'm excited, cautiously excited for personally, for myself, for my own experience playing the game. I'm cautiously excited. For everyone else, I'm deliriously excited. Congratulations. All right, there we go. I'm done.
That's a good way of putting it.
I like that. But yeah, same here. It's gonna outsell. I totally believe that. And buy Metroid Dread. It's gonna be phenomenal. We'll be here day one, live streaming it the night it comes out.
I need to take a day off.
The night before it comes out, I guess, because I got the digital version. It unlocks about 10 p.m. the night before. So I'll be on as soon as I'm off work. I'll be on. I'll be live streaming it. So check that out here in the future, and we'll be back to talk more of Metroid Dread as soon as we kind of play a little bit of it, and then we'll have a little discussion later on and talk about our thoughts so far of the game. But thank you so much for listening, guys. You have anything else to say, Ant?
No, I'm just shaking with excitement is all.
Okay, good. Thought he was raising his hand. Pick me.
Nope.
I was like, all right. Well, you guys, you heard it here first. And until next time, let's hear it, everybody.
Keep it nerdy.
Oh, I thought you said, buy Metroid Dread.
Metroid Dread! Bye,
Metroid Dread!
Bye, Metroid Dread!
And keep it nerdy.